Life after 70. You've probably been told it's supposed to be the golden years. Peaceful, carefree, full of rest and relaxation. But let's be honest. Deep down, you know that's not the full story. Because the truth? Life after 70 is not a slow fade into comfort. It's a stage filled with surprises. Some beautiful, yes, but some that are brutally challenging. And here's the thing. Very few people talk about these facts openly. Society likes to paint aging as either quiet bliss or constant decline, but the reality is far more complicated. You've lived decades of hard-earned wisdom, yet now your body, your health, your independence, even your place in the family, all start shifting in ways no one ever warned you about. It's not just about growing older, it's about learning to navigate a whole new chapter of life. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Because if you want to protect your independence, if you want to hold on to your dignity, if you want to live with true health and longevity, you need to know what's coming. In this video, we're going to uncover 8 brutal facts about life after 70 that most people ignore until it's too late. These are not here to scare you, they're here to prepare you, to give you the clarity and the tools to keep living on your own terms. And listen closely. Stay with me until the very end, because fact number 8? It's the one most seniors never see coming. Yet it changes everything about how you experience these later years. So take a breath, settle in, and let's face these truths together, because the more you know, the stronger you'll be. These truths may be hard to hear, but let me be clear with you. They're not here to scare you. They're here to prepare you. Because knowledge, especially at this stage of life, is power. It gives you the chance to take action before the challenges catch you off guard. It gives you the confidence to make choices that protect your independence, your dignity, and your peace of mind. Think of it this way. When you know what's coming, you don't have to live in fear of it. Instead, you live with awareness. You live with strength. You live with wisdom guiding every step. And I want you to be part of this conversation, not just a listener. So as you hear each of these brutal facts, I want you to think deeply about your own life. Which of these truths feels closest to home? Which of them do you recognize in yourself or in someone you love? Don't keep those thoughts to yourself. Share them in the comments. Not only does it help you reflect, but it helps others too. You'd be surprised how many people out there are carrying the exact same struggles, silently, thinking they're alone. Your voice could be the one that makes them feel seen. So stay with me. Engage with me. And let's move forward, fact by fact, truth by truth, uncovering what life after 70 really looks like, so that together we can face it with courage. Number 1. The dimming of the senses. It often creeps in so quietly you don't even notice it at first. The letters on the newspaper look just a little smaller than they used to. You find yourself holding the page closer, then farther away, searching for that sweet spot where the words finally come into focus. Or maybe it's at dinner with the family, everyone laughing, voices overlapping, and you nod along, smiling politely, even though you missed half of what was said. At first, you shrug it off. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe the light is bad. But over time, the changes become harder to ignore. Take Alice, for example. She's 79 and spent her whole life active in her community. Every Wednesday she went to Bible study, and every Sunday she sang with the choir. But when her hearing began to fade, those simple joys became struggles. She grew embarrassed, constantly asking others to repeat themselves. She felt like a burden. Eventually, she stopped going altogether. Not because she wanted to, but because keeping up became exhausting. Her story is not unique. Many people around 70, or older, quietly withdraw. Not because they don't love life, not because they don't crave company, but because their senses start pushing them to the edges. And when that happens, the world gets smaller. And let's be honest, it's not just about losing sight or sound. It's about what those senses mean. Your hearing is how you connect to your loved ones, how you laugh with friends, how you feel part of a conversation. Your vision is how you stay independent. Driving, cooking, reading, even something as simple as recognizing the face of someone you love. When those senses fade, so does confidence. You start second-guessing whether it's safe to drive at night. You hesitate to join a dinner party because you're worried you'll miss too much. What used to feel normal suddenly feels risky. And that loss of confidence, it chips away at your independence, piece by piece. But here's the truth. Losing some clarity in your hearing or vision does not mean you have to lose your life as you know it. There are practical, powerful steps you can take to protect yourself. Regular eye exams can catch problems before they become serious. Brighter lighting at home, especially in kitchens and hallways, can reduce strain and prevent accidents. Pocket magnifiers, large print labels on pill bottles, and high-contrast markings on stairs or countertops can make daily life safer and easier. For hearing, the tools available today are nothing like the clunky aids of the past. Modern hearing aids are sleek, comfortable, and almost invisible. Even if you're not ready for that, small steps, like using captions on your television or investing in a phone designed for clearer sound, can give you back conversations you thought you'd lost. These changes may seem small, but together they rebuild confidence. They restore connection. They give back pieces of independence that aging tries to take away. So if you've noticed yourself struggling to see the page, or asking others to repeat themselves a little too often, don't ignore it. Take it as a sign of wisdom. Because protecting your senses means protecting your safety, your dignity, and your place in the world around you. Now let me ask you something, and I'd love for you to share your answer in the comments. Do you think losing your hearing or your vision would impact your life more? Number 2. Changing family dynamics. This one can be harder to see than fading eyesight or hearing loss, but the impact runs just as deep. For decades, you've played a central role in your family. You were the caregiver, the decision-maker, the one others leaned on. Children came to you for advice, grandchildren ran to you for hugs, and maybe your home was the place everyone gathered for Sunday dinners or holidays. But as the years pass, something shifts. Your children, grown now, become busy with careers, health concerns of their own, and raising families. Grandchildren get older, distracted by school, sports, and friends. Even those lively holiday gatherings that once filled the house with laughter slowly grow smaller or quieter. Take Helen, for example. She's 81. For most of her life, her kitchen table was the heart of the family. Every Friday night her children and grandchildren filled the house, and she loved every second of it. But now her children call less often. They visit when they can, but their lives are full, stretched thin. Helen doesn't take it as neglect. She understands it's just life, but the silence in her home feels heavier than it used to. And here's the difficult truth. That shift in family roles can leave you caught between two emotions. Pride, because you raised strong, independent children who no longer need you the way they once did. And loneliness, because your central role in their lives isn't what it used to be. It's a bittersweet reality that many seniors face but rarely say out loud. What does this do to you emotionally? It can make you question your place. You might wonder if you're still needed, if your presence still matters. The truth is, you are needed. Deeply. But the way your family needs you has changed. And learning to accept that change takes courage. So, what can you do? The answer lies in adapting. Instead of waiting for the old rhythms to return, create new ones. Maybe that means shorter, more frequent phone calls. Maybe it's a video chat with your grandkids, even if they only have 10 minutes to spare. Perhaps it's planning smaller, more personal gatherings instead of expecting the big events of the past. You can also find meaning in new roles, mentoring younger relatives, writing down your family history, or simply being a steady voice of encouragement from the sidelines. Your value is not gone, it's just wearing a new shape. And here's the wisdom. Family bonds don't vanish with time, they evolve. By embracing flexibility, you continue to shape those bonds with love, even if the rhythm is no longer the same. So let me ask you, and I'd love for you to leave your answer in the comments. Has your role in the family shifted in a way you didn't expect? And if so, how did it make you feel? Number 3. Declining health and energy. This is one of the hardest truths to face, because it strikes at the very core of your independence. For most of your life, your body has carried you without question. You woke up, you got dressed, you did what needed to be done. Maybe you worked a long day, cared for your family, or kept up hobbies like gardening, walking, or travel. You may have even taken your strength for granted. But after 70, the rules start to change. What used to feel like a small ache becomes a chronic condition. A climb up the stairs leaves you short of breath. Even something simple, like carrying a bag of groceries, can feel heavier than it used to. George, who turned 82 last year, knows this reality all too well. He loved being outdoors, gardening in the summer, shoveling snow in the winter, walking long distances just for the joy of it. But after a sudden bout of pneumonia, everything shifted. His recovery was long and exhausting. Tasks that once felt effortless now leave him drained. Pulling weeds in the garden? It takes twice as long, and the fatigue lingers for hours. And here's what makes it so tough. It isn't just the physical weakness, it's the unpredictability. One day you wake up feeling steady, confident, and ready. The next day, fatigue comes crashing down, and suddenly you feel fragile. That uncertainty creates frustration. It creates fear. And it can slowly chip away at your sense of control. But declining health doesn't have to mean life is over. It doesn't have to mean giving up. Doctors remind us again and again that small, consistent habits can slow decline and even restore a surprising amount of strength. Gentle stretching in the morning to loosen stiff joints. A short daily walk to keep the heart strong. Balanced meals with enough protein to support muscles. Regular medical checkups to catch problems before they become crises. The goal isn't to chase the body you had at 40. That chapter is closed, and that's okay. The goal is to protect the strength you still have, so you can enjoy your days with as much vitality as possible. And maybe that's the deeper wisdom here. Acknowledging the changes in your body is not weakness. It's strength. Because by facing the truth, you give yourself the chance to adapt, to plan, and to preserve the dignity that matters most. So I want to ask you, be honest with yourself and with me. What small daily habit helps you feel strongest, even when your energy isn't what it used to be? Number 4. Financial strain. This is a reality that few want to talk about, but almost everyone feels in one way or another. After 70, money takes on a completely different weight. For most people, the steady paycheck has stopped. Instead, you rely on savings, pensions, or government support. And while that might seem secure on paper, real life often tells a different story. The truth is, what once felt like enough can quickly shrink under pressure. Rising medical costs, higher utility bills, inflation at the grocery store, all of it adds up faster than you expect. And sometimes it's not just your own needs. Maybe you're helping adult children who are struggling. Maybe you're pitching in for grandchildren. Suddenly, what you worked a lifetime to save feels fragile. Take Linda, for example. She's 76, a widow who did everything right. She worked hard, saved carefully, and even owned her home outright. For years, she believed she'd built a safety net she could trust. But when she was diagnosed with diabetes, the costs of medication, frequent doctor visits, and a strict diet began draining her savings. The cushion she thought would last began to thin out faster than she ever imagined. And this is what makes financial strain so heavy. It's not only about the numbers in your bank account, it's the emotional toll of the choices it forces you to make. Do I dip into my savings now, or hold back for emergencies? Do I spend money on heating this winter, or cut back so I can afford my prescriptions? Should I buy fresh produce, or settle for cheaper meals to stretch the budget? These aren't just financial questions. They're emotional burdens. The weight of those choices can be exhausting. It can make you feel insecure, even ashamed, even though you did nothing wrong. Life simply changed the math. But here's the good news. There are ways to ease the burden. Programs exist that offer assistance with healthcare, housing, and food, though many people don't know about them. Senior discounts, community food initiatives, or speaking with a financial advisor who specializes in retirement planning can open doors you may not have considered. Even small changes, like adjusting how you shop, where you bank, or how you track expenses, can create breathing room. And here's something important to remember. Money is a tool, not a measure of your worth. The goal is not to hoard every penny until the end. It's to use what you have to live with peace of mind today. When you know your options and take practical steps, you reclaim that peace. So let me turn this back to you, because your perspective matters. Would you rather spend more of your savings now to protect your health and comfort, or hold on tight for the future, even if it means making sacrifices today? Number 5. Physical limitations and mobility loss. This is one of the most frustrating realities after 70, because it doesn't just touch your body, it touches your pride. 4 years, you moved through the world without much thought. Climbing stairs, bending to tie your shoes, carrying groceries, mowing the lawn, these were simple, everyday tasks. But with age, those same movements can begin to feel like obstacles. Muscles weaken, joints stiffen, balance becomes less certain. And what once felt automatic now demands effort, planning, even caution. Take Frank, for example. He's 82, and for most of his life, he was the type of man who fixed everything himself. His lawn was always neatly cut, his gutters always cleaned, and he never thought twice about climbing a ladder or carrying heavy tools. But now, the lawn mower feels too heavy to push. The ladder seems too risky. Even bending to pick something up from the floor leaves him dizzy. For Frank, the hardest part isn't just what he can't do, it's what those limits represent. He worries about becoming a burden to his children. He feels frustrated that the independence he once prided himself on is slipping away. And maybe you felt something similar, that slow erosion of confidence when your body doesn't respond the way it once did. The emotional weight of these changes can be just as heavy as the physical ones. You might find yourself avoiding activities you once loved, not because you don't enjoy them, but because you fear falling or you fear failing. That fear can shrink your world, just as much as hearing or vision loss. But here's what's important. Physical decline is real, but it's not absolute. There are powerful ways to adapt. Gentle but consistent exercise can make a tremendous difference. Chair yoga, light stretching, resistance bands, even water aerobics. These aren't about getting back to the body you had at 40. They're about protecting the body you have now, keeping it strong enough to serve you in daily life. Simple tools can also restore independence. Supportive shoes that improve balance, walkers that reduce the risk of falls, or grab bars installed in the bathroom. Even small adjustments, like using a reacher to pick something up or breaking tasks into smaller steps, can give you back confidence. And maybe the deepest wisdom here is this: adapting doesn't mean surrendering. It means choosing safety over pride. It means creating new ways to live fully, rather than giving up on living at all. Your independence may look different now, but it hasn't disappeared. It's just evolving. So let me ask you this, and I truly want you to share your thoughts in the comments. What's one daily activity you never want to give up, no matter how old you get? Number 6. Loneliness and social isolation. This is a reality that sneaks up on you. It doesn't always arrive with a bang. It creeps in slowly, quietly, until one day you realize the house feels too quiet, the days feel too long, and the phone isn't ringing as much as it used to. When you were younger, loneliness might have been rare. You were surrounded by family, friends, co-workers, neighbors. Your days were full of conversations, laughter, maybe even arguments. But after 70, those circles often grow smaller. Friends pass away. Family gets busier. And suddenly, a week can go by without a meaningful conversation. Take Martha, for example. She's 78, a widow who once hosted lively family dinners every Sunday. Her kitchen table used to overflow with food, laughter, and chatter. But now, her children call less often. Visits are fewer and farther between. She fills her afternoons with television shows to pass the time, but deep down, she misses voices in her home. She misses the sound of laughter echoing through her walls. And loneliness isn't just an emotion, it's a health risk. Studies have shown that prolonged isolation can increase the risk of depression, memory decline, even heart problems. It can drain your energy, cloud your thinking, and make every day feel heavier than it really is. Loneliness can weigh more than any physical ailment. The emotional impact is profound. You may start to feel invisible, as though the world is moving on without you. You may feel that your stories, your wisdom, your presence aren't being heard. And when that happens, your sense of purpose can begin to slip. But here's the hope: loneliness can be fought. It doesn't have to win. The first step is connection, finding ways, even small ones, to bring people back into your daily life. Joining a local senior group, volunteering at a community center, or attending church services can open doors. Even something as simple as greeting your neighbor during a morning walk can spark a moment of connection. And don't underestimate technology. Learning to video call your children or grandchildren, joining online communities, or even playing games with others virtually can create bridges you didn't know were possible. It may feel strange at first, but the reward is worth it. Hearing voices, seeing faces, sharing moments, even if they're not in the same room. The truth is, you still have stories to share. You still have wisdom to give. And you still deserve companionship. Don't let loneliness convince you otherwise. So let me ask you, because I want to hear from you. Do you believe loneliness is more dangerous than physical illness? And if so, why? Number 7. The gradual loss of independence. This one cuts deep, because independence isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. For most of your life, you've made your own decisions. You've cooked your meals, driven where you wanted, managed your money, and taken pride in caring for yourself. Independence has always been tied to dignity. But after 70, you may find that independence begins to slip, not all at once, but little by little. You can start with something small. Maybe driving at night feels more stressful than it used to. The headlights glare, the roads blur, and suddenly a short drive feels unsafe. Or perhaps a small accident, a fall in the kitchen, a slip on the stairs, reminds you that your body doesn't bounce back the way it once did. Tasks like cooking, cleaning, or even balancing the checkbook may feel heavier, more overwhelming than you expected. Linda, 78, knows this reality. She prided herself on never needing help. She drove her own car, kept her house spotless, and managed every bill on time. But then, one ordinary day, she tripped in the kitchen and broke her wrist. Suddenly, she couldn't cook, couldn't clean, couldn't even drive herself to the doctor. Her daughter had to buy her groceries. A neighbor had to drive her to appointments. And even though it wasn't her fault, Linda felt embarrassed. Vulnerable. Like her independence had been stolen in an instant. That's the emotional toll of losing independence. It's not just about tasks you can't do, it's about identity. When you're used to being the strong one, the caretaker, the decision-maker, it's painful to suddenly need help. It can make you question your worth. It can stir up fear of becoming a burden. But here's the truth, acknowledging these changes doesn't mean giving up. It means adjusting with wisdom. Instead of fighting every single shift, you can prepare. You can plan. And when you do, you protect your dignity, even if the details of independence look different now. Support systems can help. Setting up meal delivery, arranging rides through community programs, or sharing household responsibilities with family doesn't mean you failed. It means you're smart enough to adapt. Technology can also make daily life easier. Medication reminders, grocery delivery apps, voice-activated assistants that handle tasks with a simple command. Independence doesn't have to vanish. It just has to be redefined. It's no longer about doing everything alone. It's about finding safe, practical ways to keep control of your life while accepting help where you need it. So here's my question for you, and I'd love for you to be honest in the comments. Would you give up driving if it meant staying safe, or would you keep driving for the freedom it gives you? Number 8. The loss of purpose. This is perhaps the most painful reality of all, because it doesn't just touch your body or your finances, it touches your soul. For many, purpose used to be clear. It came from a career that gave your days structure. It came from raising children, from providing for a family, from caring for others. It came from knowing that you were needed every single day. But after 70, those roles often change, or disappear altogether. Work ends. Children build lives of their own. Grandchildren grow older. And suddenly you find yourself asking, what now? Margaret knows this feeling. She's 77 and spent over 40 years as a teacher. Every day, she walked into a classroom filled with energy and chatter. She thrived on the sense that she was shaping young lives, that her presence mattered. But when retirement came, the applause, the daily conversations, the feeling of being needed, all of it vanished. She found herself sitting in a quiet house, watching the hours stretch long, with an ache that no television show could fill. And here's the harsh truth. Without a sense of purpose, the days can feel empty. Loneliness deepens, depression creeps in, and even your health can decline faster. Because it's not just your muscles or your heart that keep you alive, it's your spirit. And your spirit needs meaning. But here's the hope. Purpose is not something reserved for youth or careers. It doesn't end when you retire. It doesn't fade because your children are grown. Purpose can be redefined at any age. Maybe it's volunteering in your community, offering the wisdom you've spent a lifetime building. Maybe it's mentoring younger generations, guiding them with lessons only experience can teach. Maybe it's creating art, nurturing a garden, writing your story, or simply being a steady presence in the lives of those you love. Studies show that older adults who feel they still contribute, who believe they still matter, not only enjoy better mental health but often live longer. That's the power of purpose. So don't let aging convince you that your best chapters are behind you. Your story is still being written. The question is, what do you want this chapter to say? And now, I want to ask you something that may touch a deep place in your heart. What gives your life the most meaning right now? And how do you hold on to that sense of purpose as the years pass? We've covered a lot together, so let's take a moment to look back at the journey we've walked through. First, we faced the dimming of the senses, how vision and hearing begin to fade, and how that shrinking of the senses can quietly shrink your world. Then we explored the changing family dynamics, the shift from being the center of the household to watching your role evolve in ways that can feel bittersweet. We looked at declining health and energy, the unpredictability of waking up strong one day and fragile the next, and the fear that comes with it. Then came the weight of financial strain, where the money you worked a lifetime to save doesn't always stretch far enough against rising costs and medical bills. We spoke about physical limitations, how simple movements like climbing stairs or carrying groceries can suddenly feel like mountains to climb. We uncovered loneliness and isolation, the quiet emptiness that creeps in when friends pass, family is busy, and the days stretch too long. We faced the gradual loss of independence, when driving, cooking, or managing life alone begins to slip away, and with it, a part of your identity. And finally, we came to the loss of purpose, the aching question of, what now? When old roles disappear and new meaning must be found. These are the 8 brutal facts of life after 70. And yes, they are difficult. They are heavy. But let me say this clearly, these facts are not punishments. They are invitations. Invitations to adapt, to grow, and to redefine what living after 70 really means. Because here's the truth, aging doesn't have to be decline. It can be transformation. It can be a chance to let go of old burdens and embrace new forms of strength. It can be a season where you learn, not just to endure, but to live differently, with more wisdom, more patience, and a deeper appreciation for the moments that matter most. And I want you to think about this deeply. Some people look at aging and see only loss. Others look at it and see opportunity, a new chapter waiting to be written. Which side are you on? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Never forget, aging is a privilege. Not everyone gets the chance to live into their 70s, 80s, or beyond. Every year, every day you wake up, is a gift. Yes, it comes with challenges, but it also comes with the power to choose how you face them. With preparation, with courage, with a willingness to adapt, you can hold on to your dignity, your independence, and your joy. So don't see these facts as the end of freedom. See them as the tools you need to protect what matters most. Because life after 70 isn't just survival. It can still be full, meaningful, and rich with moments worth cherishing. Now, I want to hear from you. Out of these 8 brutal facts, which one spoke to you the loudest? Which one felt closest to your own life, or to the life of someone you love? Take a moment and share it in the comments below. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if this video touched you, if it gave you something to think about, then I'd like to invite you to become part of our community here at Senior Strong Living. This isn't just a channel, it's a gathering place for people who want to live with strength, dignity, and wisdom through every stage of life. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next video. Every week, we bring you insights, encouragement, and practical steps to help you stay independent, stay healthy, and stay connected. And let me leave you with this thought. Life after 70 may look different, but it's far from over. Your independence, your dignity, your purpose, they're still yours. They just need to be protected, redefined, and embraced in new ways. So don't walk this journey alone. Walk it with us. Together, we can face the challenges with courage and discover new ways to make these years not just long, but meaningful. Because at the end of the day, you are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are part of something bigger, a community that believes growing older is not the end of life's story, but the beginning of a new chapter. So, join us here on Senior Strong Living. Share your story, read the stories of others, and let's keep building strength, together.